Can you see my post?
I do beg your pardon. I think we're live, Mrs. M.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. May the fourth be with you. Mrs. M, that's her elbow. You can see. Are you going to be standing there for the whole show? No, okay. All right. It's a very happy anniversary to you, Mrs. M, who's just kissing my head in a very delightful way there. Thank you, everybody, for your greetings that are already coming in this morning. So kind of you. Thank you very much. I'm actually a little hungover. One of the first things Mrs. M said to me this morning was, I couldn't get much sense out of you last night. Well, no change there, then. I think it's because I had a few pints with my father-in-law. The celebrations began early yesterday evening, and it was all about the Biocultural Bar yesterday, where we had a great fun after the meetup. The meetup, actually, let me just rephrase that. It was all about the Biocultural Bar here in San Martino de Porto and guitars and stringed instruments and live music. What a day. What a lovely meetup it was. Let's just get in the mood while I can rest my slightly hungover voice and head and take a few sips of tea. Do you know, I only had 2 pints, but it hit me hard, I can tell you. I'm a cheap date. I'm a lightweight. Earlier that same day at the meetup, wonderful Don and a regular and newbie Joshua, who's new to the Bay, Joshua got hold of, you're wondering what I'm going to say now, aren't you? Joshua got hold of T-Duck's ukulele, and who doesn't like to have their ukulele got hold of first thing in the morning? And Don brought his mandolin, and this is the sweet music that they made together. Isn't that great? Really great fun. And I think Joshua and partner Lily had a great debut at the meetup yesterday. So great to meet you both. Thanks to everybody who came along. Very, very British weather at the meetup yesterday. The Frank Sinatra style, you know, if you don't like it, wait 5 minutes. It really was like that. I arrived in the sunshine, and it rained and it blew, and it was very changeable. And then we popped down to the Biocultural Bar, which is one of the first places I ever went to when we were here first in Portugal, and our camper van had broken down in the town. And Anna, who you can see in this picture, well, there are 2 Annas in question here. Anna behind the bar there on the right, who is the proprietor of the Biocultural Bar. And Anna, of course, Anna Belja, who you can see here, Anna of our immersion experience, teaching people Portuguese language and culture. I think at the end of the table, you can see there. This is them having a great time a few days ago, learning how to cook with Anna and Ricardo, who own the Biocultural Bar. And then me and the father-in-law popped back there. Oh no! Before that, before yesterday's evening of boozing, later on in the afternoon after the meetup, I popped down with T-Duck and Mrs. M to Biocultural Bar's new teas, loose teas and herbs and spices and incenses. And look through the window earlier in the evening. I could see a guitar jauntily laid against the wall and a chessboard. And I'm thinking this is a bohemian place where we should visit. We did, and we had a lovely chat with the lady who runs it, who knows a lot about. Well, I think she caters for vegans in there. A lot of ingredients that may be of use to people who are. I make it sound like some sort of secret society activity, engaged in vegan cookery. Those subversives, but some fabulous fresh ingredients. If you're one of those people who complains about not being able to get the herbs and spices you want here in Portugal, get on the train, drive over to San Martino de Porto, join us up for a meetup one Wednesday lunchtime. Safika Anna's doing that, is she not? No, somebody from her team is doing that. No, she's coming. That's right, she's coming, and she may well come with her team as well. She's doing that next Wednesday. Yeah, come over. If you want herbs, spices, fresh teas, to San Martino de Porto, and check out the new little shop area on the other side of the piazza from the Biocultural Bar to get all those lovely spices, herbs, turmeric, whole turmeric roots that you can grind yourself, black tea, chaparetto, loose tea, really nice atmosphere, ambiance, and very helpful lady who ran it, whose name I forget now. It was one of those slightly difficult names I'd never heard before, but she's extremely helpful. And then back in the evening with the father-in-law to see this chap playing. He's a very, very good guitarist and a very nice chap as well. Algarve de Tesoura. Is that, let me just translate that for you. Tesoura, is that something to do with hairdressers, I wonder? Actually, no, I'm going to leave that to somebody else to give you a bit of Portuguese homework. What does that mean, Algarve de Tesoura? And why do I think that's something to do with hairdressing? Is it because of the Latin word tonsor and tonsorial skills? But maybe I'm way off there this morning, and I probably am. Algarve de Tesoura, he's a fantastic guitarist. That's his residency at the Biocultural Bar on a Wednesday evening. So you can have a fabulous day, and you might want to finish your evening at the Storytellers Hotel. Andy Klein, it was great to see you yesterday. I see you're here this morning. Good morning, everyone. As I walked Andy back to the train here in San Martino de Porto after the meetup yesterday, we popped into the Storytellers Hotel. I really wanted him to see it. Andy, of course, a filmmaker and a creator of making videos with your phone, the course that we'll be having on the GMP VIP platform soon. Filmmaker and obviously a very visual man, and he absolutely loved it. The Gatsby Bar. And which room was it? It was an author I'd not heard of, but the suite that we had a little look at was absolutely delightful. What a fantastic 5-star experience they're offering there. And the Deer Hunter just saying, was that the music? Or are you thinking Deliverance? I think maybe Deliverance was played as well on the stringed instruments. It did change the atmosphere somewhat. But yeah, if you're thinking of having that day in San Martino de Porto, come see the lovely staff at the Storytellers Hotel. And I have had the invitation from Marco, the owner, to interview him. We need to speak to him because he's a remarkable Portuguese guy with a very accomplished filmmaker, director, and he's invited us over to do a live broadcast from the Storytellers Hotel, talking to him about his incredible work and life and hotels as well. He's a real Renaissance man. So there you go, a little bit of a celebration of San Martino de Porto this morning, where we had a fantastic day yesterday. And yes, good morning and happy anniversary to Mrs. M, who I found the brand new heavies and Stay This Way, which I dedicate to Mrs. M. If this was a music show, I'd be playing that right now. Thank you very much. I think Coach Turner's got some work for me to do on my buttocks this morning. And talking about Clevedon and Weston-super-Mare, I could make an unkind connection between Weston-super-Mare. Is it the coastal buttocks of the West Country? No, no hard feelings. I did live there for a little while. My father grew up there. It is the butt of many jokes. There you go. I think Coach Turner's over that way this morning. Bon dia, Tora, she says, tudo bem. We're off on our road trip this morning. So looking forward to the joys of the M25 and the M4. Pics later from Clevedon, looking across the Severn Estuary towards South Wales. There's lovely. Dougie, we must send love and best wishes to Dougie. He is being transferred, and he sounded like a little bit under the weather when he sent me a message late last night. So Dougie, we are here for you if you want to tune in and be cheered up. Being transferred to the major trauma unit at Stoke tomorrow, and says in his words, I'm in quite a lot of trouble. So dear old Doug, sending lots of love and best wishes to you, Doug. Come on, mate, you can do this, and hoping that you have a speedy recovery with the vibes of love that we're sending your way with a bit of Gumper dust there. I'm not sure I should drink on a school night, but Dougie would appreciate that. I'm sure. Okay, God Score tip of the day then. Have a good and safe drive, Coach Turner. God Score tip of the day. My super senses detected a wish to maintain a pert behind yesterday. Those super senses are working well, Coach Turner. So, did you hear that, everybody? As Mrs. M pulled a cable out of the computer I'm working on, that is actually quite temperamental at the best of times. She's a risk taker, that one. But then again, she married me 10 years ago. She must be, right? You can't have it always. So we're working on glutes today and tomorrow, Mrs. M. Would you like to work on my glutes today and tomorrow? She'd love to. That's good, isn't it?
Today and tomorrow.
Not forever.
I'd love to give you one of those.
Steady. People, we are live.
Sports massages.
A sports massage. That's a good euphemism.
Yesterday.
Did I say that again?
You asked me for a post-coital rub-down.
I did not ask you. Please, can you stop this now and start it again later after the show? The simplest exercise is step-ups, preferably 2 steps. The name of a famous fish and chip shop in Sheffield. Used to go to 2 steps, which is quite, it was not the best connection to make with fitness, is it? And having the body of a god, even if it is the Buddha this morning. The simplest exercise is step-ups, preferably 2 steps. Many people have got those. Just as I'm saying that, many people here may, of course, live in bungalows, and they don't, unless they've got the 2 steps up into the house from the rugged Portuguese terrain and garden. Focus on one leg at a time and drive fully upright. We need this, don't we? Of course we do this today. Add weight for extra resistance as you develop your strength. Of course, climbing sets of stairs will have a familiar effect. As your fitness improves, you can also try running up steps. Or I can think of a sand dune instead. Yo, that would be good, isn't it? Okay. Don't let the kids hear that, because they will be encouraging me to go up there even more than they do already. So San Martin de Porto's or Salida de Porto's embankment, sand dune, as Siobhan was talking about yesterday on the show, would be a great place for this. That would be a great challenge. It is. I've had to stop halfway up there thinking I was going to be sick. So steep is it, and so arduous the effort. Is it the hill that Sean Connery was in? They could do a remake of that up there, but that's fantastic. So the 2-step challenge or the sand dune. Thank you very much for me and anyone else who wants to maintain a pert behind. That has been one of the most surprising things of aging for me. So I'm quite lucky in a way then, really, aren't I? James is here as well. Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz quinta a todos, como estão? T-Duck as well. Let's get into the T-Duck. Deep thoughts and Portuguese sayings and quintabias in just a moment, because another horseman of the Gumpocalypse was here early on. He sent me this, and I said, okay, well, I'll put that up as the opener today. But then May the 4th came in, which is what I put on the screen instead. Thank you very much for James for this as the opener this morning. May the 4th be with you, of course. And I wanted to share this with you, if not the opener, then right now. Thank you very much, Ancient Mariner. And where are you today, Ancient Mariner? Let us know in the chat. It's happened again. The evaporated milk, everybody, has evaporated. I shouldn't have had to explain that, really, should I? But I was thinking maybe I should do that for the podcast listeners. But if they're just hearing me say the evaporated milk has evaporated, that's not going to be very funny. Anyway, I'll move on instead, shall I? Okay, let's get into the deep thought of the day. Then it's a good one this morning. Very good one indeed. We're continuing with the words of Indira Gandhi. Deep thought: people with clenched fists cannot shake hands, said Indira Gandhi. People with clenched fists cannot shake hands. Yeah. Unclench. Maybe do the exercise that Garvo was doing. That would help you unclench, not just your fists, but I think every part of your body. Coming back to pert buttocks. Clench and release. Clench and release. Every part of the body. Take a chill pill, especially in the world at the moment with tensions rising, it would seem, around the place. Weren't people chucking bombs at Putin? That's not going to end well, is it? Yesterday. So yes, you warmongers, you sex-starved, psychopathic, narcissistic warmongers, you know who you are. Just stop it. Yeah, that's gonna work. Unclench your fists, fellas, and it is mainly fellas. Let's face it. Unclench your fists. Let it go. Come on, just because somebody was horrible to you in the playground, years ago doesn't mean you've got to take it out on the rest of the world to this very day. Wonderful psychotherapists around. We'll help you out. We'll organise something for you. We've got the fantastic Super Slug here who will save teetering and tottering ladies on escalators. Is that what you call them in America? You know what I mean anyway. The magical moving metal stairs. And also lean in and make a pithy comment that will help you with your transformation and healing. We can do this. Sex-starved, narcissistic psychopaths of the world who want to start wars. We're here for you. But you need to be here for us as well. So flip him. Well, stop it. De casta vem ao galgo ter o rabo longo. Is this appropriate for the warmongers of the world? From cast comes to the greyhound to have a long tail. Well, if you say that to a warmonger, at least it'll keep them busy thinking for a little while, wondering what the hell you've just uttered. It's the apple does not fall far from the tree. And that is probably prescient, isn't it? Behind every great warmonger is probably an unkind parent. That may be the root of a few of the problems of the world, isn't it? Unresolved issues from childhood, I suspect, are behind a lot of these things. So the apple does not fall far from the tree. There you go. That's great. De casta vem ao galgo ter o rabo longo. Quem sabia then? Queen Maria the second, segundo, Mary II, and King Ferdinand's son, or King Ferdinand II's son, King Pedro V. You keeping up here? Peter V modernized the country during his short reign. Okay, so we're going to find out about King Pedro today. Under his reign, and we were yesterday. No, not that kind of reign. Under his reign, and it's all sort of, there's a bit of a coronation atmosphere in the air, of course, and not everyone's entirely supportive. I'm seeing not my king and not my kink hashtags trending currently in the UK at the moment. Under his reign, and I wonder how many colonies, British Commonwealth colonies, if they're probably not called that anymore, are they? British Commonwealth countries are seeking this opportunity to call it an outdated connection and are taking their leave literally at the moment. I wonder how many will be doing that. Under his reign, in fact, the British Empire was so vast, wasn't it, that like, there's somebody leaving the former British Empire every day since many decades ago. I wonder if any more will be doing that, or is that all complete? No, it's not, is it? Because we've still got the likes of Canada and Australia who might not want to have Charles on their stamps and money, if that's indeed what they are doing. Again, exposing my ignorance. I was thinking that could be a feature. It's not a feature, it's the whole show. Occasionally, it feels like. Under his reign, let's get back to Pedro V anyway, and point the finger at him rather than me right now, because it sounds like he did some good work involving dealing with cholera. Let's see what happened. Under his reign, roads, telegraphs, and railways were constructed, and improvements in public health advanced. That's amazing, isn't it? I'm thinking King Pedro. I'm thinking of the sort of legend where, you know, you had the guy, the king in. I'm struggling to put words and thoughts together this morning, so I'm sure you've. And please don't say what else is new. I do not want to see that in the chat. I'm thinking of was that Pedro? And yes, Pedro, also Pedro, different one in Alcobaça Cathedral, whose beloved was assassinated. But when he came to power, he exhumed her and put her in the throne anyway. And I'm thinking it's those sort of times here. But no, this is the Pedro V who built roads, telegraphs, and railways. So we're talking about the 19th century here. His popularity increased when the cholera outbreak of 1853 to 1856, one of Portugal's earlier pandemics, when he visited hospitals, handing out gifts and comforting the sick. Now, that's the sort of king you want, isn't it? That's the sort of, Charles, if you're watching this morning, that is the sort of behavior that will endear you to the people. So that's great. Pedro's reign was short. Oh, no. That's why King Charles might not be. I should read to the end of these sentences, shouldn't I? King Pedro visited hospitals, handing out gifts and comforting the sick. But his reign was cut short because he died of cholera himself in 1861 after a series of deaths in the royal family. That is tragic, actually, isn't it? After that great compassion shown by him that he should end himself that way. What, how many more years later? 5 years after the cholera outbreak concluded, but not for him, clearly. Thank you for that, T-Duck. That rather bittersweet Cain Sabia this morning. Let's do the first of the dad jokes as we're in jovial mood this morning. How does a cricket know if his joke has bombed? Is that the dad joke? Because I'm not seeing a punchline here. How does a cricket know if his joke has bombed? I can't see a punchline for that. All right. What do you call a beehive without an exit? Unbelievable. Oh, yes. Very good. And the third then of the dad jokes, my car insurance through Millennium is about to expire. I'm looking for an alternative. If anyone here has a referral. As I read that, I realize it's not actually a dad joke. It's a real life predicament. Oh my God. Did you hear that? Is this meant to happen after 2 pints? I don't think so. I did have a couple of Imperials earlier on in the day, and I didn't get on the Moscatel when I got home. What is going on this morning? I have actually passed your message on to Nunu and Anna that is in the chat there. So anytime, T-Duck. And the word has already come back from Nunu saying, thanks, I'm going to call him. So there you go. That is give him a few more hours at least. And T-Duck jauntily says here, I'm running out of time. Come on. I'm sure Nuna will call today. Good morning, all, from the Ancient Mariner, and greetings to you, the old seaman. From so you didn't need that laughing emoji there. We got it, I think. Well, most of us did. And then those who didn't are going, what didn't I get? Bom dia a todos e a cada que o sol brilha no vosso rosto e o vento esteja nas vossas costas. May the sun shine and may the wind blow over your coasts, maybe, I wonder, over your coastline. Good morning, everyone, from Andy Klein. As I said, great to see you yesterday. And Joao Denort checking in. Bon dia, happy anniversary, you too. How lovely to see you and receive that greeting, Joao Denort. Thank you very much indeed. And a visual as well. Thank you very much, Paul Richards. I'll see you tonight, my friend. And I see you've been busy on social media. Jerry won't know what's hit him when all the people you've been addressing on social media join you to sing the praises of the Algarve tonight. In the big head-to-head, or one of the early rounds anyway. That's tonight, the Algarve versus Central Portugal. Battle of the Regions, semi-final. Let's get ready to rumble! And thank you, Paul Richards, for your lovely visual here to two very special people. Oh, that's very kind of you. Happy anniversary, special 10 years, a tin celebration. So what can I have your help here, everybody? Do I need to buy Mrs. M a tin of Quality Street or just a tin of beans? Because if they're Heinz beans, that will seem like quite a lavish expression of my love, won't it? Given that they are $2.99 at Intermarché. It's a lot of money for a few old white beans in some tomato sauce, isn't it? Okay, so thank you very much for your anniversary greetings. It only takes one drink to get me drunk. It's usually the 7th or 8th. Very good. You're a lightweight, says James. I'm a party with 2 minis. Oh, okay. So you get the crown then. 2 minis and you're anybody's, huh? Yes, Deer Hunter Deliverance. There were those vibes at the meetup yesterday. Wasn't that some beautiful strumming from? It doesn't like a bit of strumming first thing in the morning, and we provided it beautifully from Don, if you don't mind, from the meetup, veteran of the meetup, and new boy Joshua, who I also later saw at a Biocultural Bar, loving the vegan food there. Sending my love. Happy anniversary, Colin Lewis. Oh, cheers. Yeah, Deliverance. Look, I'm not going to read all of these Deliverance-related comments. You can read them for yourself because it really changes the atmosphere. Pips is here. Hello, Pips. How are you? Bon dia, Gumpers. Happy anniversary to you both. And you often appear. I've noticed the pattern of your appearances is around the beginning of the month. Congratulations. Stay heavy. That's the brand new heavies and stay this way. What have you done with that, Andy? Good morning to you and the Portugal son, Francis. Bon dia, alegria a todos. Just got in to hear of Doug's situation. Thoughts and prayers with you. Absolutely, Doug. Do give us an update if you tuned in, and I hope we're cheering you up this morning. He's been transferred to a different hospital, so his condition has got a little bit more serious by the sound of it. So absolutely right, Francis. We're sending our love and best wishes to him and family. Yesterday, we experienced a lovely and highly recommended Pattaya Thai restaurant. Restaurant in Viana do Castelo. If you yearn for some Thai cuisine, you cannot do better. I wasn't, but now I am. Thank you very much for that, Joao Denort. Now, what play on words Thai restaurant did I see? There was a couple in this new Netflix thing I'm watching where whenever they saw a play on words restaurant or takeaway, they would send a picture to each other. And he said, I raise your Codfather fish and chip shop with my Thai. Oh, I have to watch it again. I can't remember it after 2 pints. I'm remembering very little, except I quite enjoyed it with its slightly quirky comedic style with an American comedian whose name I also forget, but it's called The Duchess. It's got anyone else watching The Duchess? Quite quirky and funny. Just 2 steps. Must be using potato sacks. That's how to get a pert buttocks, the 2-step maneuver. And I shall be trying that later on today. Portugal's Sun, I've already been invited to a 40th in Ericeira in August. Please get my number from Carl. Would definitely be keen to meet you. So that's from Francis to James there. Okay, I'm carrying out social secretary duties clearly for the Gumpers here, but that's fine. That's fine. Happy to help. Carl and Luisa, if I'm correct about it being your anniversary, feliz aniversario de casamento. Hope that I got that right. Yes, casamento I would think of as windows, perhaps. Happy anniversary of the windows. It's actually our tin anniversary, but yeah, casamento is marriage, all connected with the house, casa, and marriage there. I wonder if people were given houses when they got married back in the day as part of all of that tradition here in Portugal. Boa quinta-feira from the Aviva Ocean Dweller. Good morning to you. Lovely to see you here. And yes, escalator if you're American. Okay, we've got Fabrizio and Ian joining us at around 9. And they're going to be talking to us about getting ready for the summer in Lisbon. What's the first thing you think of when thinking about summer in Lisbon? For me, it's the beautiful lilac jacaranda trees and the intense heat, walking around Lisbon, maybe going down to the waterfront, maybe going to Time Out Market, Caixa de Sodré, and getting on the ferry across the water to the other side, to Cacilhas. That, to me, would epitomise summer in Lisbon. And I hope I haven't ruined all the advice that they were going to give now about going to see the jacaranda trees and going to Cacilhas on the ferry. Quick, chaps! Get some other ideas together quickly, and some beautiful photographs that they've shared with us as well from summer in the capital. And the wonderful Ali Sheldrake joins us at 9:30 with the new edition of Snapshot. What a beautiful, beautiful visual feast that is. She has featured Good Morning Portugal and me in there. Thank you very much. Not just looking at it for that reason. It was really beautiful. It's like over 100 pages, and we'll be taking a look at quite a few of them from 9:30. Then at 10, on a serious note, a British mother whose son is missing in Portugal at the moment. He is with his father, it's thought, but heartbroken mum asked people of Portugal, please help me find my son. She's going to be talking with us at 10 o'clock this morning on the Iberian FM phone-in. Can I ask a favour of you that you share this particular part of the show? I'm not entirely sure how you're going to do that, to be honest, but if you screenshot this, perhaps, and let me just make sure the phone number's available. If you can do a quick screenshot of this, if you can find it on the Iberian FM phone-in Facebook page, if you can find a way of doing this, and on the Facebook groups of Portuguese expats, then maybe we can help when she joins us, and any sightings, what she's been advised to do if father and son are spotted. They're thought to be in the Nazaré area, not far from me here. And I was wondering what I would do if I saw the pair of them. They would appear to be, you know, a father and son, British father and son combo, walking about the streets. If you saw them, what would you do? She'll tell us, I'm sure, what the police have advised her to do in that instance. But she wants to see her son again, obviously. And apparently, if the dad just rocks back up to UK, everything's going to be fine. But she wants to see her son, obviously, and we're going to help her later on at 10 o'clock to see if we can do that. So please spread the word if you would. Maybe just spread the link of the show, the live stream at the moment, to say we'll be doing that and talking to the mum at 10 o'clock this morning. Okay, it's actually 9 o'clock right now, so I'm going to give them a great big round of applause and a loving hug, abrazo, because they're back from Japan as well. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning. Happy anniversary.
Yes, congratulations.
Hey, what do you think I should get for Mrs. M then? It's the tin anniversary. And that, that doesn't sound especially auspicious, does it? When you think of gold, silver, and others, a tin. What do I do?
6-pack of.
Yes. Or I'll tell you what, I'll very cheekily run into the bedroom late this evening and expose my own 6-pack to her and say, "Ha!"
That'll be great. That's steel, isn't it?
You've seen it, have you? Oh. No, I'll have to get a 6-pack first, obviously. But that is a great idea. I'm hungover from 2 pints last night, so God only knows what's going to happen after a 6-pack night. Perhaps you'll share it with me. Do you drink on a school night? I mean, I'm quite shocked by the effect 2 pints last night is having on me this morning.
We do at times.
Rarely.
Rarely, but we do at times.
Yes. And that's the problem, isn't it? You don't know when those times are necessarily coming, do you? When you've got a few bottles of Portuguese red in the house, perhaps. It's like, should we have another one? This is really nice tonight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then when summer's approaching, it's dangerous. And Portugal has got great tasting gins, so sometimes it's like one gin tonic and then the second gin and tonic and then.
Yes, that's right. Mother's
and then it's YouTube watching a lot of punk.
Is that what happens? Is that what happens? You start pogoing?
Yeah.
Seriously?
We do. And a lot of Bowie and stuff.
That's amazing. Things you never knew about the team here in Portugal. So a few gins and you start pogoing. I'm interested in this. And I think a lot of people will be interested in your playlist. If we could, I know we're going to talk about summer in Lisbon, but talking about punk new wave and some of the music, some musical memories would be great. But gin in Portugal and Lisbon, are there Portuguese brands that you really like?
Yeah, they're quite good ones actually.
Yeah. Go on. Any particular?
Foxtails we drink quite a bit, and is a quite good one. And then we've been given one by friends of us that have a bar close to our place. And it was delicious, but I remember drinking it, but I don't remember either the name of the label. Yeah. So therefore, I really enjoyed that one.
Really? The only interesting part is that I think it comes around from where there's all the Vinho Verde. So actually, apparently the taste is slightly different because of that reason. But anyway, we'll try it again, and we'll give you a more
wow, that's an interesting
detailed description.
Oh my goodness. Well, Vinho Verde gets the party started, doesn't it? Anyway, in its own right. I get very giggly after a few glasses of that. Yeah.
So do I. Might be the fizz.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Fizz does the biz. Absolutely. So there you are, you two. Oh, we've got one suggestion. How about a year's supply of aluminium foil? It's perfect, Jim. Well done. Nothing goes down better than a kitchen-related present.
No, I also protects you from alien invasions.
It's dual purpose. You can whip up a quick tinfoil hat, and I think that's the best suggestion so far. It was Victoria's birthday yesterday. You legend. Hola, bon dia, kids from sunny Portugal. Just popped in to say hello. And as I recall from the man cave discos we used to have, she likes a bit of 80s new wave and punk. So what happens? And you have a few gins, possibly, and then the 80s. Then Spotify gets cranked up, and you start pogoing around to some old punk tunes in the house there.
Yeah, is it Spotify or is
probably YouTube?
It's probably YouTube. YouTube at time, and yeah, then we start with X-ray specs and all the others.
Germ-free adolescence, X-ray specs. Okay, what else should be other punks? And you'll be surprised. You might not be. But when you hear some of the musical recommendations from a few other punk new wave and 80s aficionados here, because actually we've got Bairandi, who was in a punky new wave band a long time ago. He sent in his music and we played it, and they were really good. So Bairandi might play a few old punky numbers. Talking about the Sex Pistols yesterday with Andy Klein at the meetup, and I was saying they weren't as bad as they made out, were they? But he was saying they didn't get a chance to really, obviously, mature and do several albums, and we will never know, will we, how good the Sex Pistols could have got? But they weren't as bad as they made out. I don't think.
No, not really.
Not really, considering that none of them was really a musician or a singer or anything like that.
Yes, that's right. And I wonder, I mean, if they were together still, they might have recorded a version of God Save the Queen for King Charles. I wonder if anyone else has tried that. I wonder. Or that maybe there's just so little interest in him becoming king that no one's bothering with that. Or am I wrong? Sorry, go on, Fabrizio.
No, would anybody record anything at the moment? Really? It's such an event, is it?
A damp squib, possibly, but I think them, and
Sugar Babes and
okay, the Sugar Babes recording "God Save the King" with a 4 on the floor backbeat. Yeah, that could work. That's the perfect symbol of these times, isn't it?
Yeah.
remaking God Save the Queen as God Save the King as a special tribute. Anyway, I'm sure those New Wave and punk tunes are going to be coming in as recommendations for your next gin-infused pogoing in the house. That would be great. And, yes, 80s. Here we go. We're going to be talking about summer in Lisbon, which is a lovely idea. I mean, it feels like it's upon us already here in May, doesn't it?
It is actually. That's why we thought about it. It's like we got to call it spring in Lisbon, but we thought, actually, I think that passed about a month ago now. So
we're in, aren't we? No rain to speak of. No April showers. We missed out on those this year, and it sounds like we're straight into the sunshine. So, what are your recommendations then when it comes to enjoying the Lisbon in the summertime?
Well, I mean, the one thing is, of course, that there's the big shift, because we found, especially this year being a bad winter, that Lisbon felt a bit sad and drab, really, because of that, because there's so much of it is outdoors that once you lose all that, then it disappears. And so, I mean, already, we're looking, and we go out a lot more, we walk out a lot more, not only in the city but outside, different bits. And also then, of course, obviously a lot of more outdoor events, so a lot of outdoor concerts, festivals coming up, which get booking, guys, because the tickets are running out.
Okay. So it is. All right. Well, let me just rewind a bit further back from that. How do you find out about all of these festivals? I know the big ones, the big Nos festival and all that sort of stuff are well publicized, but a lot of festivals in Portugal aren't. Do you need a bit of an insider to help you with that, or what's the best place to find out in Lisbon? Is there a timeout? There must be, right?
There's agenda one called Agenda Viral,
right?
Which are Agenda Viral Lisboa, and some of the things. I mean, there's all the events that there are in Lisbon, from watercolor sketching, what, to all the concerts that might be or not be in squares or restaurants or esplanadas or other things. So that is a good place to check the events. And obviously, approaching the summer, more and more things seems to be happening in squares or outdoor locations. So that I also arrange in sort of a calendar structure, so it could be quite easy to find things according to the dates that you can.
Okay, Agenda Viral. Okay,
Agenda Viral.
I bet they wish I hadn't thought they'd called it that during the pandemic, but that still goes.
It was named before.
Yes, and managed to continue throughout the pandemic. So you can find out about things that are going on. And I think you're going to talk us through a few of your favourites here. Look, the party's getting started again.
That's our friend the Claudias. Hi, Claudias. There's Claudia and Claudia. They came to visit us from Rome, and there's Santos Populares, obviously in June.
Santos Populares. Tell us more about that.
And that is somewhere in Alfama, I think.
Yes, it is.
It's either Alfama or Graça.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's it's the full month of June, where
pretty much the main one starts to kick off just about a few days before Sant Antonio.
Okay.
12th, if I remember right.
Yes,
12th of June. Leading up to obviously
the Santos Popular, the night of the Santos is the
12th.
Is the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you'll get a lot of these.
Like a whole month of celebrating.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, towards the end, it's winding down. It's a bit hard to find things, but definitely you'll get a 2 to 3 week period in the middle of it where
you're kind of a rest, aren't you, by the last week of it?
You probably are, actually. Yeah,
yes.
And it's very competitive because we find all the regions, all the areas and all the districts are kind of competing with each other. So
to outdo the other
one.
So excellent. And are you in awe of the Portuguese capacity for partying? I don't know how they do it. Do you?
I don't know. No, it's true.
It's good coffee.
It's
a cycle of coffee and alcohol, but by the look of it.
I suppose. There's not the school. Yeah, the concept of school day seems to not.
Well, that's just the kids.
Yeah.
Especially
not in June, anyway.
Yes.
Well, okay, so that's Santos Populares there. Let's move on to the next picture. Oh, and that's
before the party started. Yeah. I mean, at one point, this I think is the Barrio Alto, or is or is somewhere in the Baixa. So from the beginning of the month, the city completely transformed itself, and there's decoration, and there's plastic call those things here, and there's flags everywhere.
This is a good symbol to say something's going to go on. So if you're walking down through the street,
yes.
that's
That's really good, isn't it? That's a really good idea. So
yeah.
that's a before picture, isn't it? Because you know something's about to happen there because there's only one empty plastic bottle on the floor. By the end of that party, there's going to be
it'll be game over. Yeah,
with people hanging out of windows asleep and all sorts in
Sure.
there. Cans, bottles of Sagres and Super Bottle strewn around the place. So that's how to identify that a party's coming up.
Yes, so we suggest as a way to escape in case you don't have any air conditioning, like we do, to escape the heat and be on the street up until it's late and eat outside and meet people and dance with some hardcore old ladies and gentlemen that have been partying since the 80s and never stopped.
It's true. Those are some great Portuguese characters, aren't they? They emerge at these times. I know who there was a guy like that at the bar last night who looked like he hadn't stopped partying since the 80s and 90s. Where do they live during the day? I wonder. But they always right. So I want to be there. I love it. I just want to be in. When you see a picture like that, that is so Lisbon, and I just want to be there. It's just fantastic, isn't it? Sensible shoes, though, right? Because to get to this party, you're gonna be up and down the hills on the calçadas.
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't be wearing my high heels for this sort of party.
No platforms, no high heels. No stilettos, no roller skating, no flip-flops.
No roller skating or flip-flops for that matter. You will thank us later for this advice.
I wouldn't suggest any of those.
A strong pair of brogues, possibly. Oh, so where are we now? Costa de Caparica?
Costa de Caparica.
Yes. Well, one thing that is embodied summer for us is to get up really early in the morning when we can, or when we manage. And then work up until a certain time, and then run to the beach.
That's if you're not confronted by your bondage trousers on the living room floor.
That'll be really challenging. And then run to the beach. Yeah,
beautiful. Look at it, isn't that fantastic?
So
were those the arraias that we were looking at? Lucinda, good morning to you.
Arraias. Yeah.
So the arraias.
Hola, Lucinda.
So you know, Lucinda, they really are the best, the best of Lisbon there. So thank you for being here and saying that. And João, morning to you, João. Lucinda passes. Yes, they are. By the way, pleased to meet you, Lucinda. Look at you, João, making Lucinda very welcome. Winkle pickers probably okay for the party, as long as they've got a stout sole on them and heel, I think. And Lucinda, look at this. Pleased to meet you too, João. How lovely. So here we are.
Okay, what's going on?
And we've got a couple of colas, and I suspect maybe some vodka in there as well. But this stretch of beach, this epitomizes Lisbon as well, doesn't it? How many kilometers of beach have you got on the south of the water there? This one goes on for miles, doesn't it?
It's something like about 7 or 8 kilometers between.
Incredible.
And then it goes on further. I mean, if you're just going from Costa Caparica, you can walk all the way along there. By which point you're exhausted, then you walk back again. But
if you kept going, you'd end up with George Clooney and Sharon Stone, wouldn't you? Down the coast.
Yeah,
you get Lagoa da Albufeira, which is a bit in the way.
Right.
We tried to cross that once and it didn't go successfully. So,
the police arrived and rescued us. But
wow, good work.
Yeah. But
and there are military operations along the coast there as well, aren't there? So you can't walk through those bits either, I think, to get all the way down the coast.
I think on the top you can't actually. You can down the bottom of the beach.
Can you? Oh, good. Glad to hear that.
I don't think there's any bits that stop it, but the passage along the top of the hills gets stopped from that side.
But anyway, apart from jokes, I think that if you're a serious walker and you manage to know when the low tide is on the Lagoa da Albufeira, you can actually walk from the Costa de Caparica through the Fonte da Telha, to the Lagoa da Albufeira, to the Praia do Meco, and then do you think
you're almost at the end? Yeah,
you're almost at the end. Yeah. So, but that will be a nice walk. Yeah.
It will be, won't it? And you mentioned the Lagoa da Albufeira there, not Albufeira in the Algarve. You're not going that far.
No,
but that place is amazing, isn't it? We stumbled across that by accident. We were heading down a bit further south to Azitão and Sesimbra and that part of the world. But that Lagoa d'Albufera is like being on the moon, isn't it? There are certain aspects of it where this is where I think an estuary meets the sea. And it's lunar, isn't it? It's a really fantastic little place.
And it could be very quiet and silent and at times moody, but then very nice to swim in. There's kids playing around, but they could be very quiet in other areas. So I think it's very, very spectacular.
Otherworldly, and all of coastal life is there because of Costa de Caparica. If you like it, kiss me quick. It's the Costa de Caparica end of things, isn't it? Surfing, partying, a lot of boozing goes on there, and it's the first bit you come to, I suppose, when you get over the bridge. And you can catch the bus.
Also, they again do quite a few summer festivals, and in fact, they're a bit more Portuguese-related music rather than the other festivals on the other side, which
just seems to be
international.
Yeah,
so that's one interesting thing to look out for.
There is a great, actually, talking of new wavy tunes, there is a song based on a Ramones track, and it's Sol de Caparica. I can't remember the original Ramones tune, but a Portuguese band did a cover version and changed the lyrics and called it Sol de Caparica. Available on Spotify. It's a great rocking tune, and again, synonymous. I'll find that for you and send it to you because I think you'll like that one. So here we are on the beach. That's a lovely picture and a lovely scene, and there's miles of that kind of beach. Oh, before we go further down the beach, you can go to the beach on the north of the river as well. There are beach fronts, aren't there, to enjoy on the north? On the north.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's also quite a nice walk. I mean, if you want to walk along the river from this part, is probably from Algarve onwards, really.
Okay.
There's a nice cycle path, but also there's a nice walking path. So although it's it's all concrete over and everything, there's lots of little beaches and little places to look at. But that's a fantastic walk, and then you can pretty much go all the way to you can all the way to Cascais.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll jump on a train because the railway stations are along.
Yeah, that's the most practical to reach actually in that kind of sense because you can get the train from Cas Sudre and then you get off and then off you go. You pick your favorite one and get off at the right station, or either walk from. Yeah,
beautiful.
Or cycle, or rollerblade.
Yeah, I am loving this tour. Thank you so much. But it looks like we've gone further south. Am I right?
Well, we're up the top now. So actually, when you walk along the beach on Costa Caparica, there is the Passagem de Fossil along the top, which is actually part of the route that goes all the way around the coast of Portugal, right away to Spain. So, but you are right at the top, and probably as you walk along the beach of Costa Caparica, if anybody's been up there, you'll see that sort of, you'll see the big cliff. So you're actually walking along the top of that cliff. You go along there, and there's some great spots too, some great viewpoints and everything signposted there.
So we are on the top of the cliff, which used to be the edge of the sea before the big earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So and then the sea retracted all the way down there. So it's quite shocking, actually. And you can see dinosaur footprint. Do you call it footprints? Well, paw prints, maybe. They were those. Anyway.
Oh, that makes dinosaurs sound so cuddly and lovely. Dinosaur paw prints. We're going to go with that. And so you're seeing this ancient sort of paleontological.
So Jurassic, coastline. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So you can see. Yeah, this is slice.
And this is what I've wondered about that, because if you're on Fontatelia, for example, you look behind you away from the sea, and there is a high ridge, isn't there?
Yeah.
And this is what you're saying is the dramatic seismic shift that took place.
Well, apparently it wasn't the fact that was actually at sea level, but it was the fact that all the coastline that you see there up onto that cliff, which at some points is quite deep, wasn't there at all. So that was under the sea, and then after the earthquake, it wasn't.
My goodness! Right, look at that, and it just looks so tranquil and peaceful. And you
don't see too many people walking on there. That's one good thing about it. It's quite a nice walk. And actually,
it's quite nice now because it could be quite scorching in July.
That's one thing I was going to say. So if you go in now, it's very nice. Also very pretty because now you've got all the last bits of the spring flowers out, so it actually looks, it's not just forest. That's nice.
Beautiful.
But yeah, summertime, go early go early in the morning.
Or don't go.
Don't go.
Yes, wait till the autumn or spring. But beautiful. Okay, and there we have beautiful view again as well there. At the same
drive everywhere.
Oh, you're the designated driver, are you?
Yeah, I don't drive.
So Fabrizio can be asleep in the passenger seat on the way home.
No, I'll DJ.
He DJs.
Oh, very good. Okay, you're getting ready to get the Spotify or the YouTube on there and play a few tunes on the way back. That sounds like a lovely day out. Fantastic. Oh, okay. So I think we're back in the city now, are we not?
Yeah, we are
And
on the
now
other side where you mentioned. We are in
Exactly.
Kashirish.
Very nice, very nice. And is there a little beach on the other side of that wall?
There is a little beach actually, very little, very
No,
little.
no, yeah.
Only beach.
There's a restaurant here.
Yeah, but there's a
Okay.
little
There is. Well, yeah. No, I thought.
microscopic, but yes.
Yeah.
Is that
No
one of
more
your
than 10 kids
favorite?
will fit on it, and that's it.
Is this one of your favorite places? Is the waiter likely to say, "I have your usual table ready for you here"?
No. We've been a couple of times. We like it quite a lot, but I will say it takes you away from the usual view of Lisbon, which it seems to be from that side on, because what you're looking at is Alfama
Oh, of course, yeah.
on the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
So what you see allows you to look at Lisbon from the other side while drinking and eating. So
It's also quite if you're not going to eat and drink there, it's quite a nice walk along that bit.
Yeah.
Castillas right the way up to the statue, Jesus.
That's a fascinating little coastline, isn't it?
It is,
Because it's partly industrial, isn't it? And then you'll find a little port where a ferry might pop in and out from time to time. And then there'll obviously be a little cafe there. And those are some real treasures along those little bays there where the lesser known ferries service and move people across the water. Beautiful. Okay. And a bit of digital nomadery going on here.
Well, no, it's just that our office location just switched to the balcony from June to October. So that's our work
exciting view.
arrangement.
Living the dream, I would say here. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And is this a reference to how at some points you would be thinking to yourselves, it's getting too crowded now on the streets of Lisbon. We are retreating to our balcony here. What are the times to avoid all the tourists and the intense heat, would you say? Or is that not really a problem?
Well, lunchtime until 3:34 starts to be quite challenging at the moment.
To be walking around. Yeah.
Walking around. It could be done in the shade, could be done for sure, wearing appropriate clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah, just lack of shade. After that, you're okay. You kind of keep in the shade. But morning time, go out morning time. I mean, you go out in the crowds. Yeah. You'll get to see stuff. It's Lisbon waking up, really. So,
but no real. Sorry, and no true Lisboeta would be out in the intense heat of the afternoon. That is you're identifying yourself as a tourist, aren't you? If you go out in the intense heat, anyway, people know how to live. The seasoned Lisboetas, I suspect. So you might be up fairly early, get out and do your shopping and so on, go to the market, and then retreat. And that's why people in Lisbon and Portugal generally tend to enjoy themselves later into the evening, which comes as quite a shock, doesn't it? Whilst expats are going to bed sometimes, or they're told that there's an event on. Oh yeah, what time shall I meet you there? Oh, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
By then. Yeah,
that's right. We're having a cup of cocoa and watching EastEnders by that time. But that's the way to deal with the heat, isn't it? Is to change your day.
It is. It's a typical thing of southern Europe, I guess. In Italy, we do the same. In Spain, it's even later because it's even hotter. So it's our reason.
Yeah, so you learn to adjust to that. That's the heat adjustment. Busy times and places to avoid, perhaps, because Lisbon is a successful tourist destination. So there are going to be pressure points, are there not?
I mean, it's a bit hard to say, really. I mean, I mean, it's once you get the summer and once you get a lot of people, especially traveling through Lisbon, because they fly in here and then go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, we kind of it's part of the dynamic of the city. You see, the tourism and places with high affluence as people, and we understand the frustration of many points that come with the high tourism season, but then also we are plenty of times we are tourists ourselves. Yeah. So we are those ones that walk the city looking at things. So we don't know how to sit with this sort of demonization of tourism. Yeah. So we felt that it was a bit spooky when it was dramatically empty, the city, during the time of COVID and immediately post-COVID. So in a way, we enjoy it now that the crowd is back
Yeah,
on,
back again,
and and so, but I would certainly avoid. I don't know. What would I say? I would avoid? I would avoid, for example, the time out market by lunchtime of any weekend
Yes.
day, because there's far too many people and it's far too expensive to be good. What would I also avoid? Maybe some areas of the Barrio Alto where the Erasmus crowd, more than tourist crowd, is present.
Oh, I see. And these will be students coming to enjoy Lisbon. But
Hmm.
by the sound of it, you're struggling to find places that you'd avoid, and that's really good news.
Yeah, because I mean,
you know it enough, and it's kind of, if you go somewhere, you think, oh, it's looking a bit busy here. We now know where to go. We'll wander off somewhere else. And of course, many people just follow the tourist track. You go here, you go there, you go there. Have a wander around through the back streets. Go off track a bit. It's a safe city, so it's not like you've got to wander down some back alley and be robbed or something. So have a look around the area.
It's not like the drug dealing is hidden down back alleyways. You just need to go to Rossio, and it's very out in the open.
It's the main road. Yeah. So no worries there.
And on the safety side, the perhaps one of the least attractive aspects, and it's very rare, of course, but is you're warned about pickpockets when you're in Lisbon on a busy tram and so on. So just be careful with that. You know what to do. Wear your backpack the other way around, and just be careful on these concentrations of people.
Just watch. I mean, the scale of pickpocketing here is nothing compared to the levels of Rome and Athens or Madrid or any other cities that I've ever been to, or Paris or any of that stuff.
But when it happens,
it happens. It happens. So be vigilant and don't, I don't know.
I think the bottom line is take the fact that Lisbon's safe, but obviously safe doesn't mean 100%.
Yeah. So if you go out at 11 o'clock at night, don't wear your tiaras and
you've ruined my holiday now.
In coronation hearing, keep it for daytime, Carl.
No heels, no tiaras. What sort of holiday is this?
I know. Keep it for daytime. Just sparkle more.
Yes, good advice. Thank you very much. I knew I could rely on you for that. Fried bananas. I don't know if this is is this a speciality in Lisbon? Is this a tin wedding anniversary suggestion? We're not sure, Facebook user, why you're saying fried bananas to us.
Fried bananas.
Another suggestion coming in: Ponto Final is worth a visit. I've never heard of that, but
Ponto Final is very close to that table. There is a restaurant on the other side of like few hundred meters away from the table that you saw.
Yeah. Okay. And sorry if I peed on anyone's chips. I'm not suggesting in any way that Lisbon is a dangerous place to go to. It is a city, though, and you need to be a little bit more streetwise sometimes in great concentrations of people. And as you've both said, it's a beautifully safe city, generally speaking, and a great place to go, and a lot more easygoing and lighter-hearted than many other European cities.
Yeah.
And there'll be many opportunities where you don't have to be constantly living on your wits and worrying about what's going on around you. You'll be able to breathe out on a regular basis in Lisbon as you sit down and enjoy a coffee or your lunch or your dinner or the passing tram or whatever.
London is more dangerous. The English does have a point.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, there you go. So thank you very much for that lovely introduction to Lisbon in the summer. I thought jacaranda trees, they are the sort of the characteristic view, are they not? Or is that spring? I mean, are they still in bloom? I'm saying it's summer in Lisbon.
They're just coming out in bloom, actually. They've stayed in bloom for quite a while. Yeah,
emblematic of the city. Anything else before we go to the Algarve now? And I hope you'll hang around and hang out with Ali for a bit with us. And anything else?
I would say that now the festival season. I'm going back to the topic before, but don't miss any of the if people can manage to be here. Don't miss any of the big music festival, because the program, they're usually incredible. But I'm talking about the big ones, and we saw incredible acts. And the price of it compared to what Glasgow or any other things will cost in the UK or any other is minimal. So we've seen incredible performances of people that I wanted to see all my life.
Nosh Live, he's on, obviously. I think the first day with the Chili Peppers is sold out now, but there's still some tickets for that. What else? MEO Color Armor is the new one that started up, and I think that's a 3-day one. That's bigger now, actually. That's in part of Bella Vista. What else have we got? There's under the Super Bock one, which is now split between Praia de Meco and Autriche.
Autriche
Arena. So those are the ones to look at, and those are the quite popular ones.
But in the last few years, we saw. Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you go. There's National.
Well, that's quite the lineup, isn't it?
We missed the first day that is sold out, but we're going the second and the third.
I'm feeling like a bit of an old giffer here. There's a lot of people on here. I don't.
Neither do I. So it's a good way that
up to speed with what's going on in the world.
Well, in all those lineup, one person that I managed to see on the right before the incredible Miss Grace Jones, which is one of the people that I do admire most in life and in music, is Tash Sultana.
Yes.
Which is an incredible solo artist, which plays an incredible amount of instruments. Australian girl, she's mid-20s. She's disturbingly talented. So I will suggest. It was someone that I didn't know, and now I'm a huge fan.
Disturbingly talented. That happens from time to time, doesn't it? In a generation. That's wonderful. So we can play bingo here or do this at your leisure. Maybe take a screenshot, and you know how old you are when you can only recognize maybe 2 or 3 people on a lineup of this kind. I've heard of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Arctic Monkeys. I bet you look good on the dance floor. Oh, very good. That's Nosh Alive there. Wonderful. Let's give Ali a nice big round of applause and have her join us. Good morning to you, Ali. How are you?
Hi, Ali.
Good morning. Well, hello, everyone.
How many, Ali?
Oh, don't. Sam Smith. Let's not go there.
So good to see you. Fabrizio and Ian, thank you for being with us. You don't feel obliged to hang on. You may want to get out into the summer sunshine, but stick around for as long as you want to this morning. It's always great to hang out with you and have a bit of fun here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Ali, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Really good. I'm not sure what's happened to our sunshine though. We've had the most amazing weather, and I woke up this morning taking the dog for a walk. Mist, cloud everywhere. So,
oh, really? That's not very Algarve. And tonight, of course, we have got the battle of Central Portugal versus the Algarve. So that's not going too well for the Algarve. Boasting about the weather, you should keep that quiet in light of that's happening this evening. But ball's all over it, I'm sure. And with these sort of situations, it could quite easily be very sunny and unbearably hot by midday, couldn't it?
Yeah, it changes so quickly out here. It's actually a bit humidad today. It's a little bit heavy, which is quite unusual down here. We moved to the Western Algarve on purpose to get more of the kind of Atlantic breeze and a fresher temperature. So it's quite unusual. But yeah, I've thrown the 3.5 tog duvet away into the storage, and I literally slept with the window open last night. So
there we go. That's an annual milestone, isn't it? You know summer's coming when you change your tog rating.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get rid of it completely. There's no duvet anymore now. That won't come back till about October, probably.
Just along the coast, we've got a weather report. Sun is blazing in Portimao. So there you go. And that's why Victoria lives there, because that's what tends to happen most of the time. Okay, the new Snapshot is out. It is fantastic. And I'm not just saying that because I've got the center.
You're in it.
Careful where you put that staple, Ali. But it's fantastic. Is it a lot of hard work? You've done so much.
Yeah, I told you last month, didn't I? 10 years ago, it started out as this little A4 PDF that we sent to family and friends, and it's just exploded, really. So it's the biggest ever, this one. It's 110 pages. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but...
Okay, so by 2025, it'll be like the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Gosh, I hope not. I can't manage that. But somebody asked me yesterday, I love putting it together. It's so interesting, and we feature so many different people every month who all clamour to get in there now. I'm booked for the Cat's Questions where we interview a friend's dog. I'm booked till May next year.
Wow.
I've got
that's a feature. Okay, that's a lovely feature, isn't it? And that's fully booked, folks. As you've just discovered here, we got that scoop this morning. And clearly, the way it's put together, its vibrancy, it's a delight to look at. You obviously love putting it together. And here we are. I wonder if you could talk us through a little bit of it this morning. You've made me a special little edition of it, haven't you?
I do. I've called it your vignette. I think that's quite a good way of describing it. Yeah. So, of the 110 pages, I think I've given you about 20 just to give you a feel for it, really.
It's also part of Mrs. M's anniversary present, and I shall sign it I'll print it off and sign it for you. How about she's got tin foil and now a signed copy of Snapshot. Could this day get any better?
Could it get any better? No, I'm sure. Poor girl. I'm going to have a word with you later.
All right.
Sort you
Thank
out.
you. Yes, all right.
Yeah, so obviously we always feature Dave's photographs. He loves getting out on the beaches out here. I mean, how can you not enjoy photographing them? I mean, they're amazing. And that one's really interesting, the one that's on the left-hand picture there, because I didn't know it's actually got a name. It's the Lisbon de Gavotas, which I had no idea that a little outcrop like that would actually have its own name. And it's actually classified. It's a special nesting area because it's a nesting site for the herons. I had no idea. So it's actually a protected little rock.
Very nice. And is that how big is that? Is that like, as high as the coastline there? Is it huge?
It's when you look over the cliffs, it actually comes up quite high, almost level. It's an amazing structure that's just been left behind from the erosion, but it's beautiful, isn't it? It's a real feature of that bit of the coast. So
it is like a great big dinosaur tooth sticking out.
Yeah, I love it. And obviously we've Dave, I can never really do justice to some of his photos because they're actually large panoramics, and obviously I'm slotting them onto an A4 page. But a couple of those beaches there are just beautiful on the west coast, aren't they? So he's always down either Amarera, Quineiros, or around. If you go Vila de Bispo and then literally follow the signs for the coast and the beaches, praias, you'll come to Castelejo and Cordoama, and they are stunning, aren't they?
That really is very beautiful.
They're lovely.
Top right hand corner is the sort of landscape we were talking about before about the Lagoa de Albufeira. This sort of phenomenon here is otherworldly, absolutely brilliant. Okay,
it's beautiful, isn't it? So, and then he had great fun trooping himself around Silves Cathedral. We've been there loads of times before, but it's a stunning, beautiful building and quite unusual for a lot of the Algarve churches. There's not a lot of gold. There is some, but compared with a lot of the traditional churches, this one's more austere almost. It's beautiful though. It's very peaceful, beautiful high roof on it. You don't have to have any faith at all to go in and enjoy a building like that. I mean, the architecture is quite stunning there. So
well said. And I was talking about this yesterday. We can get triggered, can't we, by religion and references to the G word. But you can still be moved, can't you, on all sorts of levels by going into a building that has been seasoned by centuries of contemplation. This is a beautiful experience for human beings, whatever your faith denomination, whether you have one or not.
And I love the architecture. I mean, it's a very symmetrical building, the way it's designed, and it just I mean, look, that photo's there, it's lovely, but you're drawn into the font at the front just because of the design and shape of the building. It's stunning, but I like it. I like the almost somber kind of interior that it gives. It's very nice, very contemplative, lovely.
Very good. And low on the bling index for anyone.
Low on bling, which is nice, isn't it? Compared with some of them.
It can be a nice change. It can be a nice change away from that ostentatiousness occasionally. And this, I thought, was another one of Dave's photographs. Turns out it's one of your acrylics. You're so talented, Ali.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed last month. I actually did 4 paintings last month, including that. As Dave photographed the door, so I snaffled the photograph very quickly and set off in the studio with it. But I really love these old doors and windows because you just want to open the door and see who's inside, don't you? I'm always shocked. You get a real old ruin and you're there photographing, or I'm there sketching, ready to paint. And suddenly the door opens and some old Portuguese lady or man comes out, and you're like, I thought it was a ruin and that they're living there. So it can make you jump sometimes. And
then they give you a bag of oranges. It's fantastic. And behind these doors, I think it's something to do with the past and the privacy of the home. But these doors do contain the most incredible scenes inside sometimes, don't they? If you do manage to get a look in. And I'm not suggesting you do have a neb through someone's keyhole to do this, but occasionally as you're walking past, you do like, what's behind there? And you can see it and you go, wow, I didn't realize, there are sort of 10 stuffed GNU heads hanging along the corridor there or whatever. I mean, these strange things do go on behind these doors. And I think that's part of the psychology of Portugal, isn't it? The privacy of the home, perhaps during previous decades. And, it's fairly, well, you get a beautiful door like this, but then the action is going on behind the doors there in the privacy of the home.
Very much so, yeah.
Beautiful.
And it's so intricate and beautiful as well. I mean, I had great fun painting all those white, it's like a metal grill about halfway up, but trying to get the symmetry on those, but beautiful. Love painting them. Yeah, great.
Almost like giving kind of a fashion through those metal grates as well there. Okay, so we have Peter Giacometti, I found out, the artist and sort of Renaissance man. Giacometti had a real big connection with Portugal. Here's Peter Giacometti. Who is he?
Oh, he's great. I can't wait to meet him. He's the Vista Verde have started this wonderful thing every month where we have a meet the author, where they present their books and do a little talk and then a little book signing and some tea and cake afterwards. He's fascinating because I've met him a couple of times, but I don't know much about him. And I didn't actually want to research too much before the day because I want to be surprised by his talk. But he worked in the hotel trade for over 40 years and he's worked for all sorts like Disneyland, Paris, and he's worked all over the world. So his book is the story of him working in all these hotels. So I think it's going to be quite fascinating. It's a bit like looking through the door on the painting, isn't it? Getting somebody on the inside of a hotel and finding out what it's really like and who the guests are and what happens.
Stories he'll be able to tell. And it looks like Vista Verde does quite a nice afternoon tea there.
They do a really nice afternoon tea. Yeah, it's stunning. Very, very beautifully presented food. Lovely.
Are they really cucumber sandwiches with the crust cut on?
Yes, they do.
Check it out.
Salmon, all sorts. Lovely.
I was just about to ask if that was clotted cream.
It should be.
Do you know, I found my husband is a Devon boy, and I finally found that, we call it Iceland, but it's overseas supermarket here in, there's one in Portimao. In the freezer section, they've got clotted cream. They sell scones, and of course they sell strawberry jam. So I surprised my husband the other week with this little package. I wish I could have taken a photograph of his face when he opened the bag. Is it clotted cream? He went like a little fire on. I'm like, yes. Wow. So that came straight into the fridge, defrosted, ready for the next morning. And his little face scoffing it was quite amusing.
Well, I won't ask because I can't remember whether he should have put the cream or the jam on first. Please don't mention this to him because he'll be so shocked about that.
He will tell you instantly. It's hilarious, actually. If you're from Devon, I hope I get this the right way.
I hope you're right. Yeah, because
jam first, cream on top from Devon, and if you're Cornish, cream first, jam on top. Never the twain shall mix. So you'll quickly tell whether somebody's from Devon or Cornwall.
Dates back to the 15th century scone wars between Devon and Cornwall, I think.
Absolutely.
But that looks good. Algarve, you're doing well on the afternoon tea. Where do we go in Lisbon for an afternoon tea experience and maybe a G&T, Fabrizio and Ian? Is it safe to go into Time Out Market by the time afternoon tea time?
I've never seen anyone do something like that though in Time Out Market. But there was. I'm thinking about that because there was somewhere I passed once and I was looking in the window what they were doing. I can't remember where it was.
Well,
that tells you a lot of our afternoon tea attendance.
They're having a siesta. That's why you don't know, isn't it? You're having a siesta afternoon.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure Dave looked at that and said, proper job made when he was eating that. Thank you very much. It's a lovely big spread in here. And this was a really fantastic invitation, Ali, because
go back. Stop jumping the pages too quickly, young man. Enjoy your moment. It was brilliant fun interviewing you. It's great. And I haven't shared it, but it's worth reading just for your funny story. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, yes. Yeah, because I forgot about that.
Yes.
And when you get put on the spot like this, because this is mainly my job, isn't it, to ask the questions? You asked me some questions, and I was thinking, wow, I didn't remember that, or how do I see things? And it gave me a really nice chance to ponder and reflect, because I'm normally so shallow and vacuous and momentary that I don't get those moments of reflection. And you gave me one or two of them, so thank you very much for that. I really enjoyed that. Oh, you can pop round to Andrew's place. He's available for real English breakfast, and we have real tea and afternoon tea stuff. Yes. Do you mean porcelain and the family silver there? Stuffed is not cutting it for me right now. Not synonymous with afternoon tea there, Lord Gilchrist. But yes, I'm sure you're keeping your lordly end up there. Oh dear, what's happened?
Yes, the monkey. I had great fun mocking up that picture. Yeah. Well, Dave started off. He's got into Instagram reels. Don't ask, but he's found this reel where you take a tortilla and you get ham and cheese slices and you fold it all up, specially, and you put it in the toaster. At which point I have to go and watch this, and it's called a toastadilla. Apparently, he decided it was so nice. He went and made a second one and left the new packet of ham sat on top of the counter in the kitchen. Which this side of the counter, you know, the edge bit where little paws can jump up and little noses can have a little sniff and a nibble. And about half an hour later, he comes wandering over to me. Do you know where my ham went? And I'm like, what ham? Well, I'm busy mushing you. I have no idea what you're on about. And I'm like, what ham? And he goes, the packet of ham. You see this point where he's like humming and hawing, going, the packet of ham I left in the kitchen. And I'm like, where did you leave it in the kitchen? It's like, might have left it on the counter. And there's just this empty packet of ham left at sort of 7 o'clock at night. And we looked, the best bit was we looked down at Zara and I went, where's the ham, Zara? And she literally looked up at me, licked her lips.
Not even a guilty face.
No, very guilty. So,
oh dear, Dave, put the ham away when you. But my son, it must be like an Instagram thing because my son's making those. Although he fried his, I think. In a really healthy sort of way.
Put them into the nice little air fryer as well. We haven't tried that yet. So
okay, so the toshtadilla is a wrap with ham and cheese in it. You fold it up and then toast it or fry it. But it sounds great. Sounds very good.
I can't eat that sort of thing, but Dave said it tasted so nice he went back for a second one. So there you go.
It was enjoyed by nearly all the family. And you've got Give a Dog a Home here, of course, as well. That's a big dog. You've got to have quite a big home for this one, I think.
Yeah, he looks beautiful, though, isn't he? He's a gorgeous dog. Apparently, he walks really. He's a really gentle dog. Often the big dogs are the gentlest and the quietest. You'd be surprised, but he's lovely.
People can be like that as well, though, can't they?
Yeah, we always put one of their dogs every month in. We had a lovely message the other month because you can, if you can't rescue, obviously, all of them. But you can actually sponsor a dog. And one of our readers, literally, we had a message through that one of our readers from Snapshot contacted Aza, and they're now sponsoring a dog every month. So whoever they are, thank you very much, because that's what it's about, isn't it? It's nice being able to share these things and hopefully be able to support charities. So it's good. Yeah.
Associação Ecologista e Zoofilia de Algarve Alyson there. Not as good as our name for our dog rescue centre, Crapper, up here on the Silver Coast, but let's move on.
That's a perfect name.
It is, isn't it? So a recipe. Do we like the look of that, fellas? Would you eat that?
Yeah.
I would.
I love rosto pato.
Yeah, it's a Portuguese favourite, isn't it? And have you got a sponsorship there with a rice company, Ali?
No, I just put it up because it's agulha. I wasn't sure people would. It's a different to do a traditional Irish pato. Apparently, I'm no cook. Is the agulha rice, so it's a special rice rather than just your average normal white rice, which would be quite clumpy. I think the way it's cooked. But I leave it all. My dear friend Ivan from Relish Portugal sends us the recipes every month.
It's been too long since we've spoken to Ivan. Yes. So that's the duck rice recipe there. Have you, Fabrizio and Ian, do you cook this at home? Duck rice?
We do not, but we have a favorite place where we go and eat it.
Okay, all right. Because I guess it's getting dangerously close. Sorry, Ian, what was that?
Friday lunchtime special.
Is it? Okay, duck on Friday.
It is for us because that's where they always do it. So we're like, okay.
That's the thing. That is the thing, isn't it? There, you do get a sort of clockwork menu, which actually can be very reassuring. It might be a daily special, but there may be also the weekly favourite as well. So in your neighbourhood, the duck rice there, and it's about the starch, isn't it? When cooking with, I'm sure Fabrizio possibly as a risotto creator. It's all about the starch content in rices, isn't it? That's what you've got to be careful about.
Well, risotto is very important to have starch in the rice because that's what will give the creamy texture. But for example, for a lot of Asian, which I think arroz pato is originally derivated by the influence of China.
Okay.
as a contact point between Chinese and Macau, I suppose, colony is.
Yes.
And for example, in Asian fried rices or rice dish, the starch is what you shouldn't have at all. So the rice get washed
Yeah.
a lot of time before getting cooked. So I guess this is the opposite. So yeah, the amount of starch, I guess, it can make or break a dish. Whatever.
Absolutely right. My Asian mother taught me to wash the rice. Absolutely. You want dry, fluffy. You get rid of all the starch there. And old rice. Apparently, the Chinese prize old rice because a lot of the starch has actually fallen off in a dust by the time you get to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so there you
And
go.
when fried, should be cold from fridge, really.
Well, some great cooking tips this morning. Yes, fry cold rice because you'll get into a sticky mess if you try and cook hot rice, which is a metaphor for life, possibly as well. Okay, right. These are all your awards here for your wonderful Cat the Dog book as well, Ali.
Yeah, we celebrated yesterday was the anniversary of it being published. I can't believe it's been a year. So I actually had the real joy because I promised I'd dedicate 15% of all the profits to charities. And literally I sent, I've got one more check to send, PayPal to send, but yesterday I managed to send off to SOS Algarve Animals in the Algarve and to AISA a nice donation to each of them, it's part of why I wanted to write the book really is to raise that awareness of rescue dogs. Particularly, of course, Spanish water dogs. We just love them. But to be able to support charities as well that help rescue dogs. And I've had so many messages from people that have loved the book. And I had someone the other week who actually said that they'd gone out and rescued a Spanish water dog of their own, which was just wonderful for me. So that's really why the book's there. It's to raise the profile. And obviously, of course, now we've lost her to keep her memory. And it's
yeah, great job. Well done. That's fantastic news. Brilliant. Okay. And of course, Kat's questions here. And my top 5 Algarve. Who's this then?
Oh, that's Elise Slot. She runs Wow Guide Algarve. She runs a private tour company here in the Algarve. I mean, who better to ask for top places to go in the Algarve than a tour guide? And she's slotted in some great ideas there. So that's always a great feature to put in. I enjoy doing that.
So she's in there in the May edition there as well. So what's the big question? We're meeting Daphne, I see.
Yes, yeah, and Daphne's a rescue dog as well. Actually owned by he's a retired police officer in America. So some very funny stories. I love Kat's questions because I think it frees people up to have some fun with their answers because it's not them answering it, it's their dog or cat. And it's amazing the things they get up to and the things they talk about their owners. It's quite good fun. So it's
lovely.
like a reverse interview. But
and we should point out, Snapshot is not just about the Algarve, is it? I mean, it is Algarve based, but you're talking to people from all over the world in this publication.
Yes, that's the plan, especially with the books and the reviews. I think it's great to just, I love highlighting particularly indie authors. I mean, it's a great world and we support each other. That's the beauty of it. I think it's lovely to be able to do that, and obviously to be able to promote their books or their work or their business at the same time
and meet them as you can.
Yeah, it's good. I really enjoy it. Cat's questions, I do enjoy writing that every month. It's good.
Talking of, so we're meeting the author Sharon Hayhurst in this edition as well, and a few book reviews. Then it would seem too.
Yes, yeah. I'm a big reader, so I like whenever I share the book reviews, it's because I've read it and I've enjoyed it. That's the bottom line for me. I mean, loads of people send me, "Could you review my book?" And I'm going, "Well, I'll have a look at it," but I'm not promising.
Best thing you've read recently?
Oh, I think it has to be the top one there. Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. It was recommended to me by someone and I really enjoyed it. Beautifully written. Just a very simple story, as often the best books are. But he started off in Devon. He found out that a dear old friend was dying right in the northeast of Britain. And he started off walking to the post office to just send her a letter, hoping, get well soon sort of thing. And then he decided he would start walking with the letter, and he kept walking all the way to her care home where she was. But he had a very witchy wife back home. It wasn't too impressed with him that he just set off and never came home. But it's just It's because I think it's either coming out or has just come out in the UK as a film with Jim Broadbent, who's an amazing actor. So I'm hoping to get my hands on a copy of that. But beautiful book, really. Okay. But I only share reviews of books that I've actually read and enjoyed myself. So I have quite an eclectic kind of taste in books, so there's usually a mix in there. But
I got goosebumps hearing about the plot of that story there. Incredible.
What
a lovely idea. That's going to make a good movie as well if it hasn't already been made.
Brilliant. Yes, definitely.
Coming up at 10 on the Iberian FM phone, and we've got Rebecca Jones joining us, whose son is missing in Portugal at the moment with his dad. So we'll talk to Rebecca about where she is with that search and to see if we can help. So that's after 10 o'clock this morning. And we're previewing now Snapshot. And so, yeah, thank you for that book recommendation. That sounds like a lovely story. And, a little bit of Portuguese tuition here. Thank you very much for that as well. Always useful. And always good to learn a bit of Portuguese, isn't it? And people who think they're never going to crack it, just keep going, folks. You're going to be fine. Here, what is this delightful place we're seeing here with the pink bicycle?
Oh, it was a Quinta that Dave photographed last month. It's a B&B Quinta. But it's beautiful. We just wanted to feature it because they've done such a lovely job. And it's one of the things I think Dave enjoys most about his work when he's out photographing property and real estate is you get to have a look round, don't you? It's a bit like going back to opening that door again. He gets to go in and literally look, but it was just a beautifully presented Quinta down here in the Algarve that you can rent. And he wanted to share not only the photographs, but he tries to always explain how he's done his photography and why he shoots in a particular way. And real estate photography is actually more complicated than people think. I think people get their phone out and click and that'll do. But, if you've got a professional camera, you've got the proper lens. Dave always takes at least 3 or 5 shots. He explains it and he loses me at this point. But he then blends and merges all the different layers so that you've got the perfect view out of the window that's clear while you've got the perfect room photograph as well. So he kind of shares a little bit of the inside how he photographs in a feature like that.
Well, anyone who's looked at Idealista will know that photographing real estate is an art form, which doesn't always happen, to be fair, on Idealista. Yeah. So there you go. Look at this. When do we get to meet the lady in the middle there on the bottom row? That's a bad isn't it?
That's Lule Carnival. You missed that one.
Lule! What a fantastic place that is. So they're in the back.
Yeah.
Are they all available online there?
Yes, they are. There's a full. If you click on that link there, the news that website, then you can subscribe. But if you scroll down, there's a link to the archive, and I've archived at least the last 2.5 years worth of editions.
Good on you.
So you can just click on any of them. They're all free. So they're there, they'll stay live.
All right. Visual feast aplenty then. And I'm just putting the link in. Thank you so much for being in this morning, all of you. Don't go just yet, because I think we've got a couple more dad jokes to share before we go. Where can I, and a question and a very important appeal here, where can I find English muffins or crumpets in Lisbon? I mean, he's a lord. Shouldn't he have staff doing this for him? I think I don't know the answer to this, and I'm not one of your staff.
We don't know the answer to that either.
Next time, okay. And that's the link there for finding Ali's back catalogues and the current issue. How much does it cost, Ali? How much is it going to set everybody back to download this Snapshot?
It's free. It's
free. I knew that really. I was building up the tension there and underlining the fact that you do so much. And offer such a beautiful magazine, and that by no means, that's just a fifth of the magazine that we looked at there approximately, wasn't it? So much work, absolutely free, and you can download it from the link that's in there. So final words from Lisbon and the Algarve as we approach summer, as we were talking about earlier on. Fabrizio and Ian, how do you want to send people on their way this morning?
Try to walk out as much as you can now, because if summer has arrived. Don't waste your time looking for crumpets. The world is far more complex and far more beautiful than that.
There will, there'll be a radio show in years to come where you'll be quoted, I think. Don't waste your life looking for crumpets.
That will kill my potential career if I will ever have one.
Very good. That's a gem for us this morning. See you next month with more like that. Have a great day, Elizabeth. Ali?
Oh, well, I'd just like to say the sun's come out. Yes. So
Got to go.
I'm all right now.
All right.
Move all around.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here. And we'll see you again next month. Nice big round of applause for you.
Thank you. Bye.
And let's roll the Iberian FM intro. Okay. See you soon. Thanks very much. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, guys.
Okay, seriously now, let's see if we can help Rebecca Jones, who joins us now from the UK. Good morning to you,
Good
Rebecca.
morning.
How are you this morning? I know you're going through a very difficult situation at the moment.
I'm okay.
Okay, good. And thank you for joining us this morning. We'll see what we can do to help. Could you give us a little bit of the backstory, as it were, of what's been going on for you, and then tell us how we can help this morning?
Yeah, of course. I went on holiday with my family in August last year. Me and my youngest came back to the UK because the father claimed he had lost his passport. So he stayed on a little longer with the eldest child and for another few days. And after the few days, he never returned home with the eldest child of ours, Jaden. And he had blocked everybody and taken everybody's money. And we've had no communication with Jaden since the 13th of September 2022. We've had limited emails from the father, but not enough information to say where Jaden is, just that they're okay. And we're all becoming really worried now. We just want Jaden home. He's had no schooling, nothing. He's had no family, no friends. We just want him home.
Of course you do. Of course you do. That's a long time, isn't it, since last
Yeah,
September?
it is. It is a long time to be without your child.
Of course it is. And we'll see what we can do to help this morning. How has it been for you? I mean, obviously you're over there in the UK and it's very difficult coordinating the search.
I've been over to Portugal in January to file a missing report with the police and to put posters out, but we've had no luck. But we've had communication coming in. Now he has been seen, but not been found yet.
Okay. Have the Portuguese police been helpful with your search?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's been their advice to you in how to go about this?
Just to keep searching, and they will do everything they can to help.
Right. Okay. And how do you think we can help you this morning? What if we're doing our best to create a segment here that we can share on across social media and so on. What can we do for you?
Help me find my son and bring him home.
Just to keep getting the word out there around Portugal.
Help him come home. It's his birthday next week, and
oh dear,
everybody in the UK are finding it really hard without him.
Yeah, of course.
We just want him home.
Right, and are the British police helping you as well?
Yeah, massively.
Okay, all right. So in the instance, I mean, I was hoping this morning that you were going to send me a message to say, I'm not going to be on the show. We found him.
I really wish that was.
I wish that was the case as well. What is the police advice? The expats now, more and more so, the more we can spread the word, the more people will be keeping their eyes open.
To keep searching for Jaden. Andrew's not committed a crime in any way, just to do the right thing and return the boy home.
Right. Okay. And what should be done in let's say in the instance that I live in the Silver Coast here, and I think there has been a sighting in Nazaré, just up the road from me here.
Yeah, out the back of the area.
What should anyone do if they spot the father and son and they think it might be?
Please call my number if you don't feel confident in ringing the police. But if you do, please ring the police and let them know where Jaden is. We need him home.
Of course you do. Of course you do. So what I'm going to do is I'll put the link to the article in the Portugal Resident, because I think they've been helpful as well. I think you might have spoken to our friend over there, Natasha Don.
I have been on the TV on the BBC to do appeal. we're doing everything we can to get Jaden home.
And have you managed to get on Portuguese TV as well?
No, not as yet, but that's my next step.
Okay, so if anyone can help with that and
Yes.
connect us to the Portuguese, any Portuguese TV network, that might be a way of helping you out over here as well.
Yeah,
And your
would
phone, and you're happy for us to share your phone number, are you here?
Yes, please. It's important. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. There's your boy there, and there's the father. And I believe we've got your phone number on here, which I'll share on the screen as well for anybody
you.
with any information. And there's also a number. Actually, I'll copy and paste the whole of this.
Yeah.
Anyone with any information can contact Lagos Police, and there's a number for them there, or to call you.
Yeah.
Well, and then presumably you'll call the police in Portugal with the sighting, and they can follow up on that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything? I'm not sure what else we can do to support. You've made it very clear what's going on for you, Rebecca, and we sincerely want to help and get your boy back to you in the UK there to celebrate his birthday, of course. Is there anything else we can do?
Just, we miss you, Jaden. We miss you so much.
Oh, bless you. Okay, so anyone who sees anything, let me just show the big picture again. These are the posters that presumably you were circulating around Portugal here. Jaden there, and the numbers to call if you see. Call the police. That's the first. Is that the first and best response, to call the local police? And then if people don't feel comfortable doing that, to call you.
Call me, yeah.
All right. I'd wish you the best of luck with your search, and I hope that we can report that you're reunited. We can reiterate, can't we, that the father is not in any trouble if he returns home.
Yeah,
brings
just
Jaden
do the right thing and let him be with his family and friends.
Yeah,
he's taken him away from everything that he knows.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. Keep us informed if you can. I know you obviously clearly got a lot on your plate and lots to be dealing with back there in the UK. But if anything else occurs to you about this, if you think of anything else we can do, we would love to help and have you reunited. Alison is saying, so sorry to hear this, Rebecca. Alison has shared the link. She's down there.
Thank you so much.
And we've
Please
got
keep sharing, everybody. Let's help get my boy home.
That's the thing to do, isn't it? To keep sharing information and keep it there, so that people are aware of what's going on and can do something about it to help you. And
thank you, everybody. I just want him home. I just want to be a mum, and I want him back with his brother because Andrew's got another child, and he's just not reached out to him in any way.
Oh right, okay, all right. I'll share this with the Man Cave guys. That'll be on their particular gathering. Then they're all over the country as well, so that could be helpful, Rebecca, as well.
Thank you.
Chris has a place in Lagos, although the last sighting up here on the Silver Coast, Algarve and Nazaré. Is that where they're thought to be at the moment?
Yeah, so he was seen on a farm volunteering, but shortly left afterwards when the posters went up.
Oh, okay. All right. Ali is asking, do you have any mutual friends who could negotiate contact? That's a really good suggestion.
No, I don't associate with Andrew's friends. No.
Right. Would it be possible for? I'm certainly not trying to tell you what to do.
I have asked them, and he's not been in touch with them either.
Okay, so that
he's taking their money, so he's not going to. I don't feel.
Okay, so that doesn't sound like a possibility there. But thank you, Ali, for sharing that. I'm so sorry to hear how things are for you, says my wife here, Mrs. M. This is heartbreaking. I hope you're reunited very soon. So we'll keep sharing that. And keep it. Let's leave it there for this morning. I don't want to keep sort of putting you on the spot here and making things worse.
Will it be available on here all the time, kind of thing?
Absolutely. I'll make a segment of this. So we'll get it on YouTube and we'll get it on social media and see what we can do to help.
Thank you so much. Thank
you. We'll do what we can for you and keep in touch. And we hope the next time we talk to you, I hope it's to share the good news that you've been.
Me too. I hope we're having a big party.
Yeah.
I hope the brothers are reunited because our youngest is 11 and we don't deserve this either.
Quite. So the next thing we ideally want to see is a photograph of you happily celebrating Jaden's birthday.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love that. And I would love it.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. Keep us informed. Let us know if there's anything else we can do to help. We're not going to go out with a theme tune or any noisy music. We're just going to leave it there and just wish you the very best of luck in finding and being reunited with Jaden.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.